Imagine drifting through the void, where the silence is so absolute it rings in your ears. A place where the laws of physics we take for granted on Earth begin to bend and break in ways that defy human logic. As Nilima stared out from the observation deck of the Aina, she wasn't just looking at stars, she was looking at time itself, because every flicker of light hitting her retinas had traveled for thousands of years, meaning she was essentially a ghost haunting the past of a distant galaxy. The sheer scale of the cosmos is enough to trigger overview effect, a cognitive shift reported by real-world astronauts, where the sight of our tiny, borderless planet against the infinite black makes all human conflict seem utterly absurd. If you think the vacuum of space is just empty, think again. It's actually bubbling with virtual particles that pop in and out of existence. And in the regions between galaxies, there is a mysterious substance called dark matter that acts as a cosmic glue holding everything together, while we remain completely unable to see it. As the Aina approached the Great Attractor, a mysterious gravitational anomaly that is pulling our entire Milky Way toward it at 1.4 million miles per hour, the ship's sensors began to pick up the music of the spheres, which isn't actual sound since space is a vacuum, but electromagnetic vibrations converted into haunting orchestral frequencies. Did you know that if two pieces of the same type of metal touch in space, they will permanently bond together in a process called cold welding, because the atoms have no way of knowing they are separate pieces? Or consider the diamond planet, 55 Cancri E, a world twice the size of Earth, where the intense pressure and heat have turned its interior into literal diamond, a treasure chest floating in the dark that no human hand can ever touch. As Nilima descended toward the surface of Kepler 186f, she had to account for time dilation, a phenomenon proven by Einstein's relativity, where time moves slower the faster you travel or the closer you are to a massive object. By the time she takes her first step on that violet soil, decades might have passed on Earth, her friends and family aging into history, while she remains biologically young, a true time traveler. The plants she sees aren't green because they don't use chlorophyll like ours. Instead, they use retinal-based pigments to absorb the faint infrared light of their red dwarf star, creating a landscape that looks like a surrealist painting come to life. Even more mind-blowing is the Bootes Void, a patch of space 330 million light-years across that is almost entirely empty of galaxies, a terrifying great nothing that makes astronomers wonder if something out there is hiding or if the universe simply forgot to build anything there. Every breath Nilima takes on this new world is a miracle because the oxygen she breathes was forged billions of years ago inside the belly of a dying star that exploded in a supernova, scattering the elements of life across the cosmos. We are, quite literally, made of stardust. If a human were to fall into a black hole, they wouldn't just disappear, they would undergo spaghettification, where gravity pulls their feet so much harder than their head that they are stretched into a long, thin strand of atoms. But on the flip side, some theorists believe black holes could be gateways to white holes or wormholes, cosmic shortcuts that could allow us to blink across the universe in an instant, bypassing the millions of years it would take to travel normally. The universe is also home to rogue planets, lonely worlds that don't orbit any star and drift through the freezing darkness like cosmic orphans, some of which might actually harbor underground oceans warmed by radioactive decay, hidden cradles for alien life that never sees a sunrise. Imagine a star so dense, a neutron star, where a single teaspoon of its material would weigh as much as Mount Everest, or magnetars with magnetic fields so powerful they could strip the data from every credit card on Earth from halfway to the moon. As Nilima watches the twin moons of Kepler rise, she realizes that Earth is just one page in an infinite library, and we are finally learning how to read the rest of the books. This isn't just science fiction, this is the reality of the map we are currently drawing, a journey that proves the more we learn about the stars, the more we learn about the untapped potential within ourselves. The vast expanse of the cosmos stretched out before Nilima like a velvet shroud dusted with diamonds. But to her, these weren't just points of light. They were ancient secrets and unwritten stories waiting to be told. In the year 2085, humanity had moved beyond the moon and established thriving colonies on Mars. Yet the true frontier remained the distant exoplanets like Kepler 186f, a world often called Earth's twin, which Nilima was now approaching aboard her spacecraft, the Aina. Named for the Bengali word for mirror, the ship represented her belief that looking into the stars was actually a way for humanity to see its own reflection and realize its fragile place in the infinite. Accompanied by her AI companion Arif, they navigated the profound silence of deep space, a quiet so heavy that it made the political squabbles and mechanical roar of Earth feel like a fading dream from a past life. The journey was not without its terrors, as they narrowly skirted the gravitational pull of a rogue black hole that warped time and space, making minutes feel like hours, and reminding Nilima that in the eyes of the universe, a human life is as fleeting as a spark in a storm. Upon landing on the violet-hued soil of Kepler 186f, she stepped out into a twilight world where the plants were deep purple to absorb the dim light of a red dwarf sun, and for the first time in history, she witnessed translucent, glass-like creatures drinking from a shimmering pool. Standing there, she realized that the universe wasn't a void to be conquered, but a home to be understood. And as she looked back at the tiny blue speck of Earth in the sky, she chose to stay and explore the mysteries of this new horizon rather than return to the familiar. Her story became a testament to the fact that while we are small, our curiosity is boundless, and as she disappeared into the alien forest with Arif, she knew that humanity's true destiny wasn't just to survive on one planet, but to become a bridge between the stars.